Hi, everybody. Welcome, welcome. Hi, friends. Sharing screen. I hope I'm sharing the right screen. Let me check. Yes, sort of. That looks weird. Here we go. Perfect. Perfectly weird. Let me make that adjustment. Ah, there you go. So nice. Hi, everybody. Welcome to the Encore presentation. All right, I'm Christina Arnold. Hello, hello. We're getting started. And hey, Shanita. Hi, Michelle. Hi, Monica. Hi, Clara. Okay, listen, we're just going to get started. This is going to fly. So we did a week of training and it was fantastic. And then it dawned on me, some of you guys have the replays on your to-do list, and we don't believe in to-do lists around here. So we're going to cut it off your to-do list. We're doing Reader's Digest version, the whole week compressed into 1 hour. So it's going to go fast. If you have questions, of course, the chat is open. I'm monitoring that, and the Q&A is open too. The other thing is I'm going to be giving a live bonus for those who enroll from this live class. So we've never offered this bonus before. You're going to love it. So that is kind of a thank you for joining us on Saturday and doing this Reader's Digest version. Let's get started. Okay, yes. Got reminded to put in the link for everyone who's here. That's the link for Next Level Freedom. We open once a year, and this is just the best time to join. Between now, next time to join is December 2027. Let's get started. So what we're doing today, the whole week that we did this week, we are having it done in under an hour. The mistake that's keeping you from part-time hours, the mistake that's having you definitely can go to part-time hours and keep your full pay. I'm going to give you 3 strategies of how to do that. Not someday, but get this done in the next 90 days. Part-time hours, full pay. And the process I'm giving you also is set up. We routinely help our clients get $100,000 raises all across the country, every practice setting. Doors are open to Next Level Freedom once a year. They're open now. We have a special live bonus for just those of you who are on the call now. The link to join is in the note. Anyone who joins while the Zoom room is open is getting this special bonus. Okay, so about you. This may be your first job and you're really not sure how to navigate the money and schedule and work. You're desperate to land a job. You think you may have to accept whatever's in front of you. The idea of part-time hours at full pay sounds amazing, but it sounds like a fantasy. You've never seen anyone do this before. Or maybe you've been at your job for many years now and you thought that by this time you'd be paid more, your schedule would come down, you'd be staffed enough, you'd have the right support, and it just hasn't happened yet. The fellows that you've trained are now getting hired at a higher salary than you at your center by your chair. You really needed to go part-time hours and full-time pay 5 years ago. You are ready. Or you've asked for fair pay and a schedule times 10 years, 10 different times, and you feel stonewalled by it all. Your boss says, my hands are tied. I can't do any more. If I paid you more, I would be paid less than you. There's just no precedent for anymore. This is what it is. You're not going any farther than this. You're thinking that going part-time would require a 50% decrease in your salary. You just can't afford that. Or maybe you already cut back. So you've dropped down to 0.8 FTE and you've also dropped your salary 20%. And slowly the work has been creeping up. And now you're at 1.0 FTE or more, but your salary doesn't reflect it. You have this 20% decrease. So you're working more than you ever had before, and your pay does not show it. Some of you can't leave this job. You're the breadwinner. Your family needs this salary to keep the house. Your family's in town. You just built your dream house. All your friends are here. Maybe your husband's out of work, or you both need this income, and the idea of cutting your salary does not make sense. Great. I'm not going to teach you how to cut your salary. So what we all want, safety, your job, raise bonus, family, and never at risk. To be paid fairly for the good work you're doing, supported and recognized. A schedule that lets you get your work done at work and then come home and not have to drag that work home. Enough money that you have a financial buffer. So if you need to fund taking weeks, months, or years off, you're able to maintain your day-to-day lifestyle. So the answer is simple. What we've been teaching all week, part-time hours, full doctor pay, no pay cut. I also taught you the process to get a 100K raise because it's a very similar process. But here's where I want to start with. A part-time schedule really will solve most of your problems. Just think about it. If you were working 3 days a week or you were home at 3 p.m., whatever part-time means for you. Some of my clients take a year off paid. Let's imagine your part-time schedule. You can get to daycare. You can get your work done at work. It doesn't have to come home with you. You can be there when your kid gets on the bus. You can be there at the soccer games without your phone blowing up, without having to do messages while you're sitting in the stadium. You can make your own doctor's appointments. Imagine if you're working 3 days a week, you can put all the doctor's appointments on a Friday, right? It works. Life works when you're part-time hours. But the major mistake I see women physicians doing is they offer part-time hours and a pay cut. They think these two things are tied, that the only way you get to part-time hours is with a pay cut. Do not drop your salary to go to part-time hours. Don't do it. Let me show you the math. Let me convince you. The average white male doctor in the United States makes $430,000 a year. There is a huge pay cut to be a woman. A white woman will make $330,000 for the same job, same experience, same age. A Black woman like 275,000, a Latina woman like 240,000. This is a huge pay cut in the United States. At the end of the year, the white woman will make $100,000 less, Black woman $155,000 less, Latina woman $190,000 less. And of course, we don't practice medicine for a year, we practice it for 30 years. So at the end of our career, a white woman will make $3 million less, a Black woman $4.7 million less, Latina woman for $5.7 million less. If you were to invest just a portion of it, that money can go up to $21.5 million that never sees our bank account, never sees our retirement funds. Our kids never see the opportunity. For that reason, never offer to decrease your salary to go part-time hours because that math is insane. If you do the same math, let's say you cut down to 0.5 FTE, and we kind of go through all of the math, that could be up to $35 million left on the table. You don't want to cut your salary to go to part-time hours. Do not leave $21 million on the table. And these numbers, by the way, are static numbers. They're based on the average white man in the United States in 2026. Of course, his salary is going to go up. We are not including bonuses, raises. Of course, this white man is getting all of that. $21 million loss is actually the floor. It's not the ceiling, is what I'm trying to say. Don't leave it there. That $21 million wage gap, it's not, $21 million is enough to be activated about this, right? Want to do something about it. But it really is much more than that. And I'll just say from my own experience as being a physician mom, like that money is the difference between taking your kid to a daycare that's just okay. I remember crying at my desk being like, I hate this daycare, but I can't afford anything else versus having a specialized nanny who can come to your house and run your house and your errands and make Christmas gifts for people. It's the difference between making the house you bought in residency as a resident do, like living like a resident, versus having a house where everyone has a bedroom and their own office. It's the difference between having a small college fund for your kids where they either have to take on enormous debt to go to college or they go to a college they never wanted to go to because that's what they can afford versus having the funds to send your kids to their top choice college and pay all cash. It's a huge difference. It's the difference between having a tiny retirement fund where you have to fund urgent care shifts to make the bills meet, work 15 years longer than you need to. But here's the thing, we will never catch up on a 21 million wage gap with an urgent care shift. It's impossible. $21 million wage gap is financial security. It's opportunity for our kids. It's not having to work till the day we die. I don't know about you, but I knew several people who died in their office at the hospital. I don't want that for us. Having a financial buffer means we can fund time off if we need to be off. Can we count on medicine to make this $21 million wage gap go away per woman? This is not for all of us. This is per one woman. Absolutely not. This will never get fixed in our lifetimes by medicine, but we can solve it for you, for me, for everyone on the call today. Here's your main problem. You think part-time hours requires a 50% pay cut and your boss's approval, but here's what I want you to know. Part-time hours at full pay is not this optional thing for you and me. It's required for us to lead our families. for us to have this financial security. And it has nothing to do with your boss. You're fully in control of it. You're influential. Let me show you how. So I started medicine in 2000. I cut back to part-time hours at full pay at all the jobs at Johns Hopkins, at academic centers, I had private practice, more of a job that was more private practice. I've developed this at these centers. It has worked for me. I have coached over 1,000 women physicians towards the same goal. You're going to see probably, if you watched this week, you saw 50 examples of this working for people all across the country. The skill I'm teaching you is how to coach your boss. It's a skill no one's ever taught you before. It's the only thing that separates where you are now from part-time hours at your full doctor salary. A little more about me is in 2019, I had a neck injury and it took me out. I could not get out of bed. The work, we had sick time, but we weren't allowed to use it. The work was just kind of moved around. Many different examples of this. But I realized even though we work in a hospital, we can't get sick. Our spouse cannot lose their job. Our kids can never have a diagnosis. We can't get injured. Such a frightening thing to realize that. So here's what I developed since then. Because of all of that, we need to be paid top dollar. There's too much at stake. We cannot be offering salary cuts. We have to be at part-time hours. We need to have time to be sick. We need to have time if our kids need us, we need to have time to be there. So there's a million reasons why you need to be at part-time hours, full-time pay now. I'm showing a picture now for those of you who are listening to this or on the podcast, pictures of my family over the last year. Like all of these moments, whether it's a big trip to Glacier or it's just hanging out in the backyard or it's saying goodbye to my daughter when I brought her to college, we need to be at part-time hours at full-time pay so we can be this present in our life. For us, for them. This time just doesn't come back to us. It's not a fantasy. What I'm teaching you today is a framework. It's just something you've never been taught before. Okay, so you're there thinking, okay, I'm with you. I want part-time hours. I want a full-time pay. I am sure some of you are thinking these thoughts. This sounds unethical. What do you mean cut back without my boss's approval? So let me talk a little bit about this. If we're really going to go the ethical route, here's what we need to say. It's unethical for your family to lose $21 million because you're a white, Black, or Latino woman. Period. It is unethical for someone next to you because he's a white man to make $21 million more dollars. That's unethical. Okay, come back to me. I don't want to make your boss the enemy because that's definitely not what you want to bring to coaching your boss. But I want to start there to the part of your brain who's like wants to shut this down. Because here's the thing, what your boss wants is for you to do good work so they can keep you. You and your boss want the same thing. You just think you need their approval to be cutting back. But what if you don't? And I will also show you ways to how to get that approval today. But just consider your boss can't say yes. If you go ask them, can I have part-time hours and full-time pay? The answer will 100% be no. So that's not part of the process. But because your boss can't say yes to everyone. Don't ask people who can't say yes. That's like a fundamental strategy here. Do not ask people who can never say yes to you. But also your boss can't correct this $21 million wage gap. If you have to be out for 2 years because your husband has a diagnosis, your boss can't fund that. Your boss needs you. The average woman physician makes $100 million for their hospital over their lifetime. On average. Your boss needs you. She wants you there so you can do good work. We need each other. We need our boss needs us. And that is what we use to get you to part-time hours at full-time salary. All right, so some of you thinking, well, everyone's going to think I'm lazy if they see me leaving early. What I'm teaching you, what you're going to see is how to get better work done faster, how to get your notes done at work, higher patient SAT scores. When you're paid well at part-time hours, I was a much happier woman, right? I was not happy when I was missing out on life and not being paid for it. My fellow was being paid more than me. I was not a happy woman. This actually resets. You're going to be a better employee. You'll enjoy it more. What you'll see in the examples we see today, many of the women physicians got raises for them and their boss and their colleagues. They got part-time hours for them and their boss and their colleagues. They were thought of as heroes in their centers. They were more liked and respected because no one at your center knows this process. You can role model for them. Some of you are thinking, there's no way I'm going to get this done. I can't even get my work done now when I'm full time. So here, there is science behind this, but let me just keep it very brief. Work expands into whatever time you give it. So if right now you're like, I just do work until it's done, you are working all of the time. It will seep into your mornings, evenings, weekends, holidays. You'll be on vacation checking for messages. The no boundaries creates endless work. When you follow this process of cutting back your hours, you're actually going to get better work done faster. Someone could die, Christina. I could get sued. Your highest likelihood for a bad outcome is right now when you're overworking, because tired brains make mistakes. Tired brains can set us up to get sued and have bad outcomes. Cutting back your hours means you're going to think better. You're going to diagnose better. You're going to protect yourself, your hospital, and your patients. You can eliminate mistakes when you cut back. All right, so let's do it. Let's do our 3 strategies. Strategy number 1, decide at the start of the day when you're going to end your day. Most physicians don't do this. They go to work. I have no idea when I'm going to be home. I'll go home when the work is done. We leave it to the tired brain at the end of the day to decide when we're going to go. But here's the thing. A tired brain never wants to leave. So don't leave important decisions to the very end of the day. Leave important decisions to the best part of your day. At the very beginning, after you've had breakfast, right? After you're awake, start moving. When am I going to leave today? Decide that ahead of time. Tired brains never want to leave. It doesn't make sense, but if you check your life, at the end of the day, when you're really tired and stressed and panicked, all you hear yourself saying is just 5 more minutes, just one more thing. This won't take that long. I better do this right now, or tomorrow's going to be a disaster. If it doesn't get done now, it won't get done, right? And now all of a sudden we're leaving 90 minutes later, getting home 7 p.m., 8 p.m., 9 p.m. Here's the truth. You want to know this truth. It's never 5 minutes, right? So it's 5 minutes and then we're like, okay, but one more thing, 5 more minutes, 5 more minutes. And also a tired brain doesn't work very fast. So what might take us 5 minutes Monday morning at 8 a.m., Friday evening winds up taking 20, 30, 40 minutes. And if our tired brain is susceptible to make mistakes, which of course it is, and that mistake hurts someone or takes weeks, months, years, lawsuits, hospital lawyers, HR to unwind, it was never worth staying 5 more minutes. Staying late tonight does not make tomorrow better. It actually makes tomorrow worse. So we get home late, we're exhausted, we're picking fights with the husband, yelling at the kids, we're not sleeping, we wake up, we're already exhausted, we go to work, we set ourselves for an even harder day, more mistakes. So here's what actually makes tomorrow better. Leave early today. Leave early today, today's better. You get home, you have more time to unwind, be rush hour. Makes tomorrow better, you're rested. You might even be excited to go to work tomorrow. You've had a good night's sleep and you ate good meals and you had a good time with your family. Let your rested brain make the important decisions. So here is Susan's case study. She was the newest hire in a very busy community practice. She thought she needed to prove herself, stay late, come in early, work alongside her boss. When her boss left, that's when she could leave. She wanted everyone to know she was a team player and that she cared. Of course she did. Of course she did. She loves her work and she wants to be respected by the people she respects. It makes so much sense. But this was having her get home later and later and later. She was already worried in her first job that she was going to get burnt out. So after the strategy, she just decided at the beginning of the day, it's 4 p.m. Her brain got all that work done by 4 p.m. That's the phenomenal thing. When you start expecting more from your brain will deliver. But when we don't expect it, you're like 7 o'clock's fine, whatever. Your brain will dribble until 7. So she created a very focused day. Her work was done at 4. She left and nobody minded. Her boss didn't mind at all because her work was actually exceptional and it was completed and she was enjoying the work. And we interviewed her on the podcast, calculated she has 6 to 8 hours per workday with her family. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, 6 to 8 more hours with her family to play in the yard, to make dinner, because she followed the strategy. Leaving 10 minutes early today, that's the next step. So you've decided you're leaving, let's say 4 p.m. Leave 10 minutes early. just 10 minutes. We want to go in very small increments. And you're thinking, 10 minutes is not going to make a difference. I totally agree with you. 10 minutes won't make a difference. No one will notice. No one will get mad. You won't get upset. No one will die. You cannot get sued over 10 minutes. I totally agree with you. It's simple. When your brain's like, that won't make a difference. Your brain is saying, oh, that's really easy. Great. We want your brain on board. We want this to feel simple. Plus, you can create a win today. And you'll prove to yourself you can cut back your hours and no one is going to get in trouble. You will not get on a performance plan review, fired, or sued. Okay, so the part of your brain is like, oh, 10 minutes, not worth it. I also want to say your brain is entirely wrong because here's what happens. And I live this too. When we think 10 minutes won't make a difference, we're not willing to change or adjust our schedule, which means you just keep working more and more and more every year. Also, when we think 10 minutes will make a difference, we use it against ourselves. We're like, I'll just stay 10 more minutes. It won't make a difference. I'll just do one more case. I'll answer 5 more emails. I'll close one more note. And all of a sudden, that 10 minutes becomes 90 minutes. And that math over a week, over a month, over a year, over a career, it is like lifetimes we could have with our kids or with ourselves, with our family. So I want you to think of this. 10 minutes is a bedtime story. 10 minutes is everything. To our kids, 10 minutes more with us a day, everything. What keeps most of us, myself included, before I knew this, at 1.5 FTE is thinking 10 minutes is nothing. 10 minutes is everything. When you're thinking 10 minutes is everything, you will act differently at work. And that's how you get to part-time hours at your full salary. So you're going to do this. It's going to be so easy. We have clients do this on the first day. When leaving 10 minutes early feels easy, then I want you to leave another 10 minutes early. So now you're leaving 20 minutes early. And you keep iterating. Goes fast or slow as you want. This could take 1 day, 1 week, 3 months. However fast you want to go is how fast you go, but you keep going until you're at part-time hours. And I'll use my schedule as an example. Like a typical physician, I was like, every minute of the day is work. I'm either at work or I'm thinking about work. I couldn't help it, right? I was just like, there's no boundaries. And I just said, okay, I'm going to leave. I think in the beginning I was leaving at 7. Let me just leave 10 minutes early. Let me just see what happens. Let me just experiment. This sounds like a worthwhile experiment. And I kept cutting it back until I was leaving routinely at 4:30. That meant I left before rush hour. Huge difference. I was the first to pick up my kid from daycare, not the last. I was there to help put dinner on the table, not grab it out of the microwave after the kids went to bed. Okay, I was like, okay, well, I don't even need to be there Sundays. And then I left off Saturdays. And then I started what I teach my clients is to put your essentials first. So most physicians, everything's work. You kind of squeeze in our doctor's appointments around tumor board and teaching and clinic. I teach my clients to do the opposite. You want the first thing on your schedule needs to be your essentials, your doctor's appointments, your self-care, whatever your family needs. Like that's non-negotiable and work has to squeeze around that. I kind of added in exercise helped me feel really good. I didn't stay later. Exercise meeting with my coach and therapist was energizing. I was fighting less with my colleagues, right? When I was talking to my coach, she could help clean my brain out, or when I was swimming and I was getting the aggression out on the water. It helped me move faster. Okay, so leaving 10 minutes early, it's the entire difference. Here's Catherine's case study. She was a breadwinner, latest hire in community practice, always behind, staying late, coming back on the weekend. She'd been passed over for raises and bonuses. The boss was like, you just are not competent enough. You're not efficient enough. And Catherine was very tearful because she loved this work. She wanted to stay, but she wanted to be paid well. And she didn't want to be at work all of the time. She didn't want to leave the job. All her family's in town. They built a dream house. She's the breadwinner. She didn't feel like there was a path forward. So we just taught her this one strategy. She started at the beginning of the day. I'm going to leave by 4. I'm just going to leave. I think with her though, she was like, I'm just going to leave 10 minutes earlier. That was her decision at the beginning of the day. I usually leave around 8. I'm going to leave at 7:50. And she did. That 10 minutes was so huge for her. She said, I felt hope for the first time in years. Like there is a way for me to start cutting back. Her boss didn't mind. She didn't get in trouble. After a week of cutting back 10-minute and 10-minute increments, she eventually was able to start leaving at 5, not coming in on the weekends, having fun at work. By week 2, her colleagues were like, what are you doing, Catherine? You seem happy. By week 3, her boss said, you know what? You have become more confident and more efficient. I'm noticing this. Week 4, her boss said, you know what? I'm going to retire. I would like you to become the next director, running the practice. Seriously, that's how fast it worked. Now, Catherine was not interested in a promotion leading the group. She just wanted to have more time at home and be paid well. So we used all these conversations, plus there was a hospital merger going on, to get her to cut back to 3 days a week, being paid more than her full salary. We negotiated that for her first, and then we got that same raise for her boss and every single one of her colleagues and had them hire 2 other whole physicians through being able to coach her boss. She is making more money than her full-time salary, working 3 days a week with 2 other whole people. Everyone in her group was happy for her. They were like, oh, thank you. Can you do more for us? She became a leader in the group. Okay, so now she enjoys her job. She has financial safety. She's home Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Every week is a 4-day week. 3-day week. Every week is a 4-day week. You know what I'm trying to say? 4 days off, 3 days on. She gets to be the parent and spouse she wants to be. So do her colleagues. Everybody won. Okay, so before you know the strategy, you'll say just 5 more minutes. 5 minutes turns into 90 minutes. You'll say you do one more thing. You hit rush hour traffic. You're walking again after bed and bath time. You're the only one there at 7. So when there's this emergency in the lab and they need somebody to cover emergency call, there goes your weekend because you're the only one there. You tell yourself, I just finished these notes at home, and you're falling asleep on the couch doing notes. You check your inbox, one more time before bed, and it just wakes you up. You wind up getting in this volunteering for work you don't want to do, messaging people after midnight, terrible night's sleep. You start your day with a headache. You're waking up before the kids to squeeze in more work, going on the weekend to catch up. At the beginning of the day, you're like, I'm leaving at 4, and you're in your car at 4. You can beat traffic home. You walk in before dinner. You're already gone when the emergency comes in. That is not your problem, right? Your weekend will stay yours because you weren't there to handle the emergency. So good. You finish your notes before you leave. Your laptop is closed at night. You don't have to check your messages at home. So you have the 6 to 8 hours of bonus time with your family, bed by 10, full 8 hours of sleep. You sleep in with the kids and weekends stay yours. Okay, let's do strategy number 2. How to get the yes without jeopardizing the physician contract. All right, someone was asking me in the chat, how do I enroll? So I'll just put it here. Next Level Freedom, that is your link to enroll. And the people who enroll while the Zoom room is open are getting a special bonus. I'll talk about it at the very end. Worth it. Strategy 2. All right, so let's talk about how you can get the yes without jeopardizing your contract. And the yes here, I'm talking about 6-figure raise, 5-figure bonus, 4-day work week. What are the conversations we can have so we have part-time hours and be paid more than a doctor? 1, you must talk with the right person. Talk with a person who makes decisions. These people are not decision makers. So the admin, your division director, I know this person's a leader, but they cannot sign off on salary 4-day week. Do not ask them. Your work friends who don't know another way, they have been overworking for 20 years. They definitely do not take advice from them. Love them, respect them, honor them. Don't take their advice. Your husband who's like, please don't risk this job. I'm scared. Your mom who's never worked in your medicine, never worked in your group, who's like, don't rock the boat. Don't make waves. We can love and honor, respect these people, but they're not the decision maker. So don't take advice. Don't take advice at this level. Don't ask people who can't say yes. How do you find the decision maker? It's the person who generally signs your offer letter. The person who decided to hire you for millions and millions of dollars over your career, that's the decision maker. That's who we want to talk to. So another way you can find it is if you were to ask, people love asking the admin and division director because of proximity and they think it protects them from the chair. It doesn't. The division director and admin will just forward that to the chair. The chair finds out, and it's usually told in an unflattering way. So don't ask those people. But your prompt can be, if I were to ask the division director, who would they have to ask to get the yes? Go talk to that person. Bypass all the people who are trained to say no. 1, ask the right person. 2 is say the right thing. This is the irresistible ask process. Number one, the first part of this is you want to name their $1 million need. If you're interviewing, go read the job description, and then as you're interviewing through the day, get a sense of what is their need. It will hit you in the head. It will be very clear what they need because they wrote it on the job description. If you're in place, you already know their $1 million need. In general, it's going to be more money, retention, fewer conflicts, increased billing, staffing stability. It's going to be those things, but don't be that general. You want to customize it to the institution you're at. I'm going to give you two examples. The more customized it is to your chair, the more likely you're going to get a yes. If it's not customized, high likely you'll get a no. So you want to customize it to the job. I'll show you two examples. Two is you want to name how you're going to meet their $1 million need faster, better, bigger than they've ever considered. This is an ethical process. Physician women are amazing. You definitely can. When you convince them you know the problem and you're the solution, you get the yes. Three is where you're going to insert what you need for everyone to be successful. Four is the silence. This is where you're not going to panic. They're going to have a blank face. They might scowl. They might look away. Your job is not to be like, oh my God, I did the wrong thing. I have to take this back right away. Your job is to say, okay, they're thinking about it. That's what a human face looks like when it's thinking. It goes a little blank. It kind of furrows because it's doing math. Who am I going to email? The silence is a good thing. All you have to do is be quiet and like honor that silence. Let them think. Because that's what they need to say yes. Five is the follow-up. This is where you're going to write a summary email, thanking them graciously for the meeting, going over the summary of what happens. You want it written down because chairs have a tendency of forgetting things over time, right? They're not saying they're malicious, but they're putting out 100 fires across the university in a given time. It's very easy to forget. And then you have some chairs who will forget in quotes. So writing it down is helpful. Or I see women physicians go wrong here is like, I need that chair to write it. And they get very anxious and very panicked about it. No, you don't. You can write it. Coaching your chair is about you leading the conversations. You want to lead it because then you can make sure you land at part-time hours at a full-time schedule. Your follow-up in writing is just as valuable as theirs. Okay, so let me give you a couple examples of what this looks like. The irresistible ask process, here's your talking to the $1 million need. I understand, and these are real examples. I understand the need to replace, you have 3 departed physicians, you have a very busy oncology clinic. These are high acuity patients. Not everyone could see them. I want to let you know that I can be here within 90 days. I've been the top RVU for my oncology clinic in my center for the last 5 years. This will be seamless for me. I will probably be faster than your current physicians because I've developed these systems. And I'll let you know, I trained in this area so I can help you be fully staffed in 90 days. I can bring with me colleagues and people who want to be here. You see what I'm saying? Bigger, faster, better. Then when you have their attention, you put in your ask. And it's going to sound so simple after you've done a great job with 1 and 2. Step 3 is, so to make this done fast, here's what I'm looking at. Where I am in my career with my family, I'm going to need Fridays off. I'd like to have my 5 years at this job credited. So can we go ahead and position the early promotion, the 100K raise, and the 50K signing bonus all up front so we can move this along? Silence. Get it in writing. This happened. All right, another example. I understand you need a medical director in the next 90 days. I've been a medical director for 5 years. I can be here in the next 30 days. In my current role, I've saved the group $2 million through billing retention, through Epic scripts. It's simple to do. I can do this here. Here's what I need in order for this to happen. I need 2 admin days a week to have my time at the previous center credited. Early partnership, 100K raise now, 100K signing bonus now. Say it like it's not a big deal, and they'll hear it like it's not a big deal. Silence, follow-up email. Both of those happen just as I laid them out here. So let's look at an example. Mary Ann, she was looking for her first job, had to be in California. Her husband was already living in California. All of her family was here, but she was told California is too competitive. Everyone wants to be in California. If you get a job, you're going to have a terrible salary. You definitely can't negotiate. Academics is boilerplate. Accept the first job and be grateful. Don't ask for anything. She received an offer. And it was a terrible salary. To make it work, she'd have to rent a house or start doing urgent care shifts. She didn't want to start her new job already needing a second job to make ends meet. The admin said, please sign, return in 24 hours. She asked the admin, well, can we discuss salary? She felt comfortable with the admin. The admin they felt, chummy. So she asked the admin name is, oh, no. This is standard. We never negotiate. This boss never negotiates. It's academics, Marianne. Sign and return. So she called me. I gave her this process and she followed it. She went directly to the decision maker, which is not the admin, it's the chair. I helped her script out the irresistible ask process, what this exact chair wants, and she got a 100K raise in a place that has never given a 100K raise before. This money matters. 100K over 30 years is $3 million. She will have another 100K raise in 5 years. That's $2.5 million. Total at retirement for this 10-minute conversation with her chair, $5.5 million. And if she decides to invest some of that, that could be as high as $18.6 million. Next Level Freedom, my coaching program costs $2,500. So that's a 7,456x. That 10-minute conversation with her chair was not a 10-minute conversation. It was an $18.6 million conversation. Do not leave this money on the table. You only need 2 skills. I know you're thinking, it won't work for me. I'm not Marianne. I'm not in California. I'm rural Tennessee. I'm industry. Your brain is going to give you all these things why this can't possibly work for you. And I would just say, if after coaching 1,000 women, your brain's wrong about it. This works at every center if you know how to follow these steps. But the most important of all the lessons you're going to learn today, the only 2 skills you need to guarantee part-time hours and full-time pay is to be creative and to don't give up. If you can stay in this modality of being creative and keep going, you can guarantee part-time hours of full-time pay. What blocks most physicians is they start panicking. Their chair didn't say something right away, didn't call them back right away, had a blank face, showed some kind of grimace, and the physician starts to panic. Someone's offended. My job's at risk. These are all things they're making up. And then they shut themselves down. They don't ask. They take it back. Like, I'm sorry, I'll work here for $150,000 full time. I know it because I've seen it. So we want to stay creative in those moments and to not give up. Here's what will help you. A no isn't permanent. It's just data. And I'll teach you how to coach your boss. What that means is continue the conversation. What's behind the no? Is it a no forever? No for 90 days? What's at risk here? For your boss, why did your boss say no? Because if you have the data of why they say no, now you can up-level your ask, and now you're actually closer to your yes. But it requires you not to be panicking. It requires you to be able to coach your boss. What would it take to say, this is some examples. What would it take to say yes? What's in the way of a yes? Is there a way to trial this for 90 days? Right? It's about coaching your boss, is continuing the conversation so you can reveal what's behind there. You can't do that if you're panicking. Because this is very relationship based. Coaching your boss is an advanced trauma informed skill. Your relationships get stronger through this. You're not going to offend them. You're going to make your relationship stronger. Every ask gets you positioned, prioritized, because you've been able to up-level your ask and your relationship. So here's a study. Wake up. If you are snoozing on this one, I need you to wake up because this story is so fun. This is Monica's case study. This is the value of being creative and not giving up. She's a senior leader and she wanted to move back to California, and she had negotiated for the top pay. She could not be paid $1 more. If she had, it would be paid more than her chair. But in California, it still wasn't enough to buy a house, put her 3 kids through college, support her stay-at-home husband. The math was not mathing. So we helped her be creative, not give up. And these are the prompts I gave her. I want to give them to you. For all of you who are saying, I've been stonewalled, they keep telling me no. I want you to hear this. What else could they say yes to? How else can we make this work? I see a lot of physician women say, okay, well, let me see if my husband can go to work. Maybe I'll just let my kids take a college. We start already taking away the things that are important to us. What I teach you is to include the things that are important to you. So for Monica, I said, no, your husband's never going back to work. He doesn't want to. You don't either. Absolutely not. No, you're not going to get a rental or a smaller place. We're going to get a full house. No, your kids are not going to take out loans for college. Like, we're going to include these contingencies and we're going to negotiate around that. We're going to coach your chair to address that. Ready? $400,000 base salary. $150,000 in bonuses, because academics, just like private practice, there are millions of dollars. You just have to know how to access them. So $150,000 in bonuses, $50,000 in titled stipends. It will pay out every year she's there. Work from home 50% of the year, 2 call nights a month. For us with small kids, that's huge. She's going to be able to be home more than most people are at work. They're going to contribute $1.2 million towards a house. They're going to establish college funds for all of her kids, any college they want to go to. She didn't have any savings for her kids' college because she started having them in med school and she didn't need to. Good, she didn't do that. All kids now have college funds, any college they want to go to. She's affording her house. There's no pressure on her husband to work outside the home. This matters. $400,000 times 20 years is $8 million. That stipend that she's getting $50,000 every 20 years, that's $1 million. I'm just going to assume she only gets a bonus once, but you all know she will get bonuses every year. Housing contribution, $1.2 million. College fund, all 3 kids, $480,000. Total funding package is $10,830,000 because she was creative and she didn't give up. She didn't say, oh, they told me budget cuts. I can't do it. Oh, it's academics. I can't do it. No, we're like, no. We're going to get you this. We're going to be creative about how we're getting there, and we're not going to give up until we're there. So Next Level Freedom costs $2,500. That's an ROI on coaching of $4,332, $10.8 million. If she decided, which she will, because I tell my clients you need to be investing, that will turn into $4.5 million. Total funding package is $15,406,196. The ROI on that is $6,616. That 10-minute conversation with her chair when she was like, this doesn't math. I need to be able to afford a house. I need to support my husband. I need my kids to go to college. Those 10-minute conversations were not 10-minute conversations. Those were $15 million conversations. This is important. This matters. Okay. Before you do this, your center says budget cuts, no raises. You're like, oh, I can't ask. It's not fair. I've been on the websites. I see what everyone's making. What I'm asking for isn't fair. The admin says the boss won't negotiate with you. And you're like, yeah, I can't do it with this boss. It's academics. You're thinking no one negotiates. You just have to take what you're given, especially if you don't have a lot of experience. No one around you is making a lot of money. What you want isn't fair or reasonable, so you don't even let yourself say it. Your boss and colleagues, you tell yourself they're going to be offended if you were to ask, or you'll lose this job, so you don't ask. You're thinking, gosh, how am I going to make this work? Maybe I can get my husband to go back to work. Maybe I could do some more urgent care shifts. This car I've had from residency, this house I've had since med school. We can just live like a resident. After your center says budget cuts, no raises, and you know better. So here's what I have to say is that hospitals are required to have millions of dollars in reserves. Small centers, that might be $10 million. If it's a larger center, it will be in the billions, $10 billion. Those centers are too big to fail. The government is funding them. There are so much in reserve. How do we know? Well, I mean, that's just a fact. But also, if you look at your C-suite, how much are they getting paid? What's their bonuses? I mean, we've seen people, right? I won't name references, but you've seen these bonuses. You know the hospitals have money, but also hospitals are businesses. Of course, they're going to have budget cuts. Every business should be looking at how do we cut back and make more profit. So I want you to consider 2 things are true at once. Your hospital wants to save, and they have millions and billions of dollars in reserve. You just have to know to access them. You don't ask the admin, you ask the chair. Like Mary Ann, you get your $100,000 raise. It's never been done by asking the chair with the irresistible ask process. When you have this process, you know everything is negotiable, even in academics. I would say especially in academics, those big wins, $1.2 million towards college, the house and college funded, that was in academics. Here's why academics is even more flexible. One is because everyone thinks you're going to be broke in academics. Nobody asks. So all of that money is just sitting there. One person comes in and knows how to ask the irresistible ask process. You are an N of 1. That becomes an easy yes. 2 is that academics, while RVUs are very important, It's not dependent on RVUs. There are grants and research funds and support from the government. These big hospital centers are too big to fail. There's a lot of money there if you know how to access it. Okay, so you know that. When they pay you more, you stay, you make $100 million for them on average over your career. You are such a good investment for them. Everyone wins. I showed you some examples today of we helped a physician get a rate working 3 days a week at more than full time. And then she got that package for her boss and all of her colleagues and had 2 colleagues hired. Everyone is excited. They're not offended. They're like, where have you been? Right? I needed you 10 years ago. There are no more urgent care shifts. Retire that. We helped DPC physician triple her salary, retire urgent care. Her new problem is what am I going to do with all this white space and all this money? You don't have to cut expenses. Splurges are standard. All right, let's end up with strategy 3, pro athlete money. Okay, someone asked, how do I join? It is in the chat. Definitely put questions in. I will go to the questions when I'm done, but I did promise this would be Reader's Digest quick, so I'm not going to answer questions as we go, but I will be answering them soon. We're almost done. Pro athlete money. This is the power of leveraging competing offers to unlock unprecedented gains without putting your career at risk or burning bridges. Essential disclaimers is do not use this if you don't want to go. Don't play games. This is not something to play with. So if you're like, I can't ever leave, I need to stay in this house, in this zip code, this is not for you. Strategy 1 and 2 will get you to part-time hours and full-time salary. This is for the people who can leave. I also say don't do this one alone. I've seen people try to do this on their own without a coach and it backfire. They lose all offers. Their chair like puts a target on them, it makes their current job worse. They have no options. It's not good. So this is something you want to do. If you can leave, if you're willing to leave your job or look at other jobs, if you're with a coach who can help you. Who this is for, if you're open to leaving for better and you're okay to stay for better. Either way, you just need your job better. And you're open to learning how to coach your boss, which I think is a skill you need no matter what. So it's so good. Why consider this strategy? This came up all throughout the week. People said, well, I've been there forever. I'm the senior leader. Um, they keep telling me their hands are tied. They can't give me more money. They can't let me work fewer hours. This is a phenomenon that's definitely in medicine. There is a limit to how much you can get from your center based on their pay structure, and it is rigid. So you could invent the cure for cancer, obesity, alcoholism. You could all of that. You can just have amazing, amazing cures. And if you're at the top, you're not getting paid $1 more. It's just how it is. It's a very rigid system. Hospital policies will, in fact, tie your boss's hands at some point. So if you're here, if you're feeling stonewalled, if you're hearing, we can't do that. We can't do that for everyone else. There's no precedent that it's not possible. What it is, you just hit the ceiling. It's not a problem. What we do in Next Level Freedom is we make the ceiling irrelevant. We bring in competing offers. Once there's a competing package, there's a path to match it. Now the rigidity falls away, and what we're left with is your center matching it. This only works if you know how to coach your chair. If you don't, your chair can say go. Go. If you stay, you're never getting a raise and we're pushing you out. So you definitely have to know how to coach your chair here. The strategy is very simple. First is you're going to decide what are the priorities, and this is different for everyone, but in general, it's location, money, and hours. Then you're going to find 3 dream jobs where you would walk into the job with that. That's just standard. You don't have to negotiate for it. It is baked into the system. You'll find them from either looking at job boards or talking to colleagues. You know where these jobs are. 3 is you're going to inquire, even if there's no job posting, letting them know you're interested, interview, get the job offer, delicately present it to your current boss, and then pick the one offer that best matches your needs. It's simple. But I do want to have a slide on delicately share this offer to the decision maker is key. How you present it matters. If your chair feels like you're playing a game and manipulating them and pitting people against each other, it probably is not going to happen. And you may become a target for your chair. So you want to delicately present them. This is like coaching your chair skills is honesty, respect, and value for the relationship leads everything. We know that relationships, we need them to thrive in medicine, and they're fragile. They're important. So we want to be really careful how we do this. You don't want anyone to feel surprised or put on the defensive because you want to keep as many options open as possible. So here's Pyle's case study, workhorse of the group, most RVUs, most titles, everyone can count on her. And the male fellow she trained was hired by her boss into the group, $35,000 over her salary. She was in tears when she came to me. She was like, I've got to leave medicine. This is so unfair. I can't eat every day being at work is so painful. But her family really needed the income. She was the breadwinner. She had a special needs child. She needed a lot of time off to manage the doctor's appointments, and she needed the money to manage all of the healthcare team. She really couldn't leave. And she didn't want to. She loved her group. She loved the work, the research, the teaching, the clinical parts. She also really respected her chair. This part was hard for her. He respected her too. She didn't want to leave. So I gave her this philosophy, which I'm teaching you now, or I'll just say this. Hospitals will spend money attracting talent. That's where they put their money is towards getting new people. Once they have them, they're not going to pay top dollar because they'll assume it's too hard for you to leave. So there's a retention versus a recruitment strategy. Retention is not much money. Recruitment, bring the people in and just think of your own experience. How often when you were interviewing, you got flown in, you were put in a nice hotel, you were taken to a dinner, they had a wine bottle waiting for you. You met with all these people. They flew your spouse in so you could look at the houses, right? They throw money at new doctors because the recruitment budget is huge. But once you're there, if you don't know how to coach your boss, if you were hired in 2015, you're likely making 2015 money. And someone who walks in off the street today, 10 years less experience, could be making $35, $50, $100,000 more. And the longer you stay, that wage gap never corrects itself. It just gets bigger. So you do have to know how to coach your boss. And honestly, her boss wanted her to pay her more. He knew this was unfair. He felt terrible about it, but like he said, these are the golden words to look out for. His hands were tied. So we just made the policy irrelevant. He said, there's nothing I can do unless you come back with a competitive offer. So that's what we did. From her office, she did a couple of Zoom interviews. She'd made a few phone calls. Within 30 days, she had 3 better job offers, more money, fewer hours. She was able to bring this back to the boss, and we did this very carefully, very delicately. We let the boss know from the beginning, I'm not interested in going. I really want to stay, but the only way I can stay is if this pay gap is corrected. So I'm going to get these. I'm going to let you know how the job offers are going. You're going to know where and when. You are not going to find through somebody else. I will be telling you my priority is this job. So he never felt surprised, threatened, or manipulated. We position this competitive offer as not as her trying to strong arm the chair, but as a tool her boss needed to get her the raise they both wanted to have. She got her $75,000 raise, part-time hours, better relationship with her boss. She's not always crying at work or threatening to leave or super reactive. She's not mad at this fellow she trained because she's making a ton more money than him, right? All that happened within 90 days. She can afford better special needs care. She's earning the most money she's ever made. She's working the least hours she's ever worked, and she loves her job. This matters. $75,000 times 20 years is $1.5 million. If she invests some of that, that will turn into $3.4 million. Coaching costs $2,500. That's an ROI of $1,373. Not including her base salary. We're not even talking about bonuses or other future raises, savings, investments. We're not looking at her husband's income. That wasn't a 10-minute conversation. That was a $3.4 million conversation just from knowing how to coach your boss. Okay, so before, the job was great for you 10 years ago, but you're making 2016 money and the schedule's worse. You've maxed out what the job can give you. You can't get more pay schedule opportunities. Not even your boss has more pay schedule opportunities. There's just no precedence. You have hit the ceiling. The returns are shrinking every year, despite that you're more valuable, more experienced, you're contributing at a higher level. This job is on the decline. The fellow you train is making more money than you. Even though you're helping onboard, support, and mentor them, you're making less money. After we have the strategy, you know how to create multiple job offers from a Zoom room from your house. You don't even have to travel to see these jobs. And each of these offers are better than your current job. You're able to delicately share this, had few strategic conversations, and you can secure your 100K raise, part-time hours. You're making 2030 money, part-time hours, stronger relationship with your boss and colleagues. You share the offer, you're like her boss was able to exceed that offer, a generous retention bonus, and your boss appreciates how you've handled this. You can either move to a better job or stay for a better job, but no matter what, you're making more money and you're at part-time hours. And you've raised the standard. It's possible. Now there's a precedence for others. So recapping, said it was an hour. We are under an hour. So put your questions in. I will go to the questions next. The part-time hours, full-time pay process is what you got in this hour. Reader's Digest highlights. I taught you how to decide at the beginning of the day what time to leave 10 minutes early, and iterate until you're at part-time hours. I taught you the 6-figure raise, 5-figure bonus, 4-day work week strategy. Ask the right person, say the right thing, reset your job without putting your career at risk. You too can have proactively money when you know how to articulate this. Everything you're seeing, none of it was through negotiations. There is no way you can get a $1.2 million housing bonus, college paid for, with negotiations. Absolutely not. The only way you get these results is by knowing how to coach your boss. And that's what you get inside of Next Level Freedom. You never have to negotiate again. Thank goodness, right? Thank goodness. Thank goodness. So you might be thinking, okay, someone asked how to join. I'm gonna put it in the chat. If you haven't joined, join at that link. And we open once a year. We are closing on Thursday. There's a live bonus I'm giving to everyone who's here or who joins from this call. So you might be thinking, it can't be this simple. This is just too easy. It really is this simple. It really is. I did it. Helped 1,000 women physicians work towards it. What's really complicated, what our brain wants to do to us is so complicated. Let me work 5 to 10 years. Let me hope promotion fixes this. Let me hope the next boss will see that this disparity and close the wage gap. None of that works. Complicated is missing out on the $21 million. So I say, let it be simple. Be at part-time hours, full doctor pay, under 90 days. Collect your $21 million. I showed this at the beginning for those who came in late, is that this matters. The average white man in America, doctor, makes $430,000 a year, and we take a steep pay cut to be a woman physician that can amount to up to $21.5 million. The only thing that matters here, and how do you get to $21 million, how much money you're making and how long you're making it. These are the multipliers. So this is not something you want to wait on. You want to be making the top pay. You want to be cutting back your hours now. Because this graph shows every year you wait, it's $1 million it peels off your retirement fund, your savings. If you today get a $100,000 raise times 30 years, that's $11 million. And every year you wait until next year, until you're attending, until the kid goes to daycare, that's a loss of $931,800. And it just keeps compounding every year. So do not wait. Not joining Next Level Freedom is not saving $2,500. It's putting at risk this $11 million. I don't want that for you. Not everyone, like I told you about my neck injury, not everyone gets to choose when we leave medicine. But if you're a part-time hours and full-time pay, you have options. Being at part-time hours, full-time pay, don't let that be the option. That is what creates options. Part-time hours, full-time pay is required to have that financial buffer, to be able to put your kids in the great college, the great daycare, to have options, to not live like a resident forever, right? Nobody wants that. We did not go to med school to live like a resident forever. I hear people talking about, I'm going to live like a resident forever. Why? What I'm offering you is no budgets, no pay cuts, but you have to be at full pay. You have to be at part-time hours. A million reasons why you need to be at part-time hours. I'm showing pictures of my family, like all of that, none of it you can get back. These are pictures of my babies. That time goes by way too fast. So I want you every year, your job should get better, work fewer hours, make more money, be home more. I'm going to look at some of the questions. If you have questions, let me know. And the link is where you can join us. It's ChristinaArnoldCoaching.com/next-level-freedom. That's the name of our program, Next Level Freedom with hyphens in between. If you're listening, that is it. What questions do you have for me? Then I'm going to go into what the program includes. So I just want to touch base and see where everyone's questions are. Let's see. I'm curious in today's economy. Okay, I love you so much, anonymous attendee, but you've just revealed your biggest problem in today's economy. So here's my philosophy on this. Do not let the economy scare you into not getting paid. Do not let this economy keep you broke. Because the truth of the matter is, your hospital has millions of dollars in reserve in this economy. And the truth of the matter is, the economy could be worse next year. So if you're waiting until the economy corrects, that means you're going to be paid at the lowest end of the spectrum for the rest of your career. Do not let this economy or this boss keep you broke or underpaid. Instead, I want you to use it as a wake-up call. Oh, look at this recession that's looming. By the way, the market is always, we have peaks. Recessions come. They're healthy for the environment. They're healthy for the world economy. You're never going to be an economy that's recession proof. They come and they go. Every recession creates millionaires. You could be one of them. But instead of letting the economy scare you, use it as a wake up call to get paid top dollar. If you're being paid top dollar, the economy doesn't even have to worry you. So that's the major. I'm really glad you said that. Um, what's our client success rate? I have over 1,000 women physicians. I've never had a client not get what they want. This process works. How is that possible? Because nobody else is asking. Everybody else is like, this economy, I can't ask. We're understaffed. This chair, they're mean to me. And I was there too. I had all those things, thoughts too, until I started realizing, wait a second. We just have to be able to coach our chair into seeing the yes. We have to be able to have the skill of keeping the conversation moving forward. What's behind this no? It's this also understanding these hospitals aren't broke. These hospitals have millions. The CEO I'm seeing having a $500,000 bonus. Where can we start working together more? Where can we, instead of being pitted against each other, where can we start seeing, oh, I can help you and you can help me? Where can we have these strategic advantages where everybody wins? And that's that irresistible ask processes. I can help my hospital survive, thrive, and they can help me. We can make a situation where everybody wins. So yeah, and I think the other piece about why we have such a high success rate is what I taught in strategy 2. Be creative and don't give up. I think one of the main things I see women physicians doing, and I did this too, so this is not being judgmental of anybody, but I just thought, okay, the only way I get this is negotiating my salary with my chair, my salary with my chair. And what I see and what I heard a lot this week of people saying, well, I've asked my chair 8 times. I'm always getting stonewalled. I'm always getting told no. We want to be able to be more creative than that. If you're always, because here's the thing, once your boss says no once and then twice and 3, it's starting to become a habit. They see you and immediately they see no. You have to get out of that habit loop. Coaching your boss takes you out of that habit loop because instead of asking the same person the same thing the same way, we're going to go in and find out what's out behind that no. How could we make this, take that data? How can we make the no up leveled? Where could we ask a different way? Where could we bring in new data? Where can we see that the current problems we're having can be positioned in such a way where this no now becomes no-brainer? Where else can we get it, right? The example I showed you of Monica, her chair, like they couldn't, their hands were tied. They couldn't pay her more than $400,000, but they could do a housing credit. They could save, they could give her funds for college. They could give her $200,000 in bonuses. And now the number starts making sense. So for you, anonymous teen, the biggest thing I'd say is stop believing the lies that are being told around you. There is money. This economy, use it as a wake-up call to claim yours. It's there. It seems like many places are facing financial difficulty. So that's I've given you that coaching. And I think the other thing you want to keep, anonymous and Cindy, is remember 2 things can be true at once. The hospital could be facing financial difficulties. By the way, don't believe them because unless you've seen the financials, you're likely believing what they want you to know so you don't ask for a raise. So what you want to think of is maybe 2 things are true at once for me, which is they have this bonus reserve in millions and they want to make more money. Of course they do. But I think more physicians say, oh, I saw the email, the budget cuts, email about financial difficulties. I better not ask. I think that's what positions so much money, that $21 million to be on the table, because these hospitals are at risk. They need to keep us because we're the people making money for them. How they keep us is they pay us well, and then we make hundreds of millions of dollars for them. but it starts by being on your own side. I think that's really, really hard to do because everything I'm teaching you is something you've never been heard before. And I think that's the power of having a coach. That's the power of seeing all of these success stories. So I guess in hospitality, what I would say for you uh, is that keep the possibility. What if it's, I want you to just take this possibility. What if it is possible? If you were at this all week, I've seen 50 examples of people getting 100K raises and part-time hours. It's possible for the people I've seen. This is my story times three. It happened to me. I created it. I want you to keep just in mind, it's possible this happened for someone. If I just try a new strategy, it's possible it happens for me too. I want you to consider, I could be wrong about this. They could be wrong. They could be very savvy, smart financial people. Their job is to say the sky is falling. We're in financial difficulties, right? They're doing their job. Consider that part of their job is to a little bit scare you about economics so you don't ask about a raise. You don't have to be scared about it. You could help your hospital out of financial difficulties by being paid well so you stay. That's what I'm trying to say. At what point do you have to give up trying? Well, I said in strategy two, you might have put this in before you said it. I said, never give up. I said, do not give up. Stay creative and don't give up. And then you definitely get to the end. So I would definitely do not give up. But it is a good question. When do we start? So, and I think you may have done this before. I gave strategy three is the question is when do I give up and look elsewhere? You can stay and look elsewhere. So what I'm seeing from you, an awesome attendee, is your brain is really shutting down black and white quite a bit. It's like this economy, this or that. I ask a lot of times. I want you to like consider what if there are more options available? What if there's like we're looking at a landscape of like thinking of a playground and there's just all this space and there's all this equipment and there's all these things you have never tried before. You've never seen these results before because you just haven't tried this before. You've never been in my program before, right? It's new. Just let it be new. And like, oh, I have never been on the seesaw. I've never been on the swings. Let me try that. So, for example, I would say if you're thinking of giving up and looking elsewhere, you should look elsewhere. That those to me are signs of I've hit the top. I'm getting a lot of no's. Nothing I'm doing is working. First, I would say if you join my program, what we can do is we can help you see, are there possibilities here that you haven't explored? And I'm guessing yes, because just how quickly I'm seeing your brain shut down everything. So there is that option of like, we could move things around with coaching your boss in new ways. And also, if you want to look elsewhere, I never think that's a bad idea. I always tell people if that's a possibility that you could go, you absolutely should look. Because if why? Because you'll have two amazing options. You'll find something better or you'll stay for better. But either way, things get better. So I always say, absolutely. So it sounds like you're at that point of looking. Why not look? What's in the way? You can write back if you want. What's in the way of looking? The only thing where I would say not to look is if you're like, absolutely, I cannot leave ever, ever, ever. I have to stay here forever. Then I would probably say, don't look. Let's focus on having new conversations with people. Let's focus on asking someone new, something new in a new way with new data. I give a policy of 10 different ways to get what you want. Maybe the 100K raise comes from your salary, or like Monica, maybe it comes through a housing contribution, a college, a bonus, a title. But if you don't give up and you're creative, you definitely get there. We just need to and I think this is why you really need a coach. All of us do, not just you. I have my own coach too, because on our own, our brain is like, done, not going to happen. This economy's scary, right? Our brain will close us down. Your brain is doing what a normal brain would do. I'm just saying with coaching, we need to open up possibilities. Try something you never tried before to get a result you've never gotten before. It's so good. Anonymous attendee, I want you to be rich. I want you home on Fridays, right? I did this Instagram post yesterday. Fridays are the day I go to Aqua. I remember when I was in medicine, my kids would say this. Mom would always say, oh my God, I survived another week. I really felt like that. I felt like I was constantly like in survival mode. And I was just like, oh, one more Friday. And now I have 2 days off. And of course, the 2 days weren't just 2 days off. I was catching up on work I couldn't get to. I was doing all these other things that I had no other time during the week. But it was just this big like exhale. I made it through Friday. And now, being at part-time hours, Friday, I'm at It's a ridiculous schedule, but I'm rushing to the gym because I spend the morning in the pool. In the afternoon, I took my son, we went downtown and we did shopping and we ate out and we went on a walk. Like that is possible. When you're part-time hours, you have days where you get to be there for your family and yourself in a way you've never been before. And you can do it being paid full-time salary. Okay, what else? What else do you have for me? I want to get all your questions and answers. Oh, someone asked where to join. It is in the chat. If you have any other questions, let me know. I'm just going to keep asking these questions and then I'll switch over to tell you about the program and our special bonus for today. Antoinette, I am excited. I'm joining the program. Already signed up. Yes, Antoinette, we're so excited that you're joining. Um, and everyone who's joined is going to get this special, everyone who's already joined, I will give this to you too, so you're not missing out, but it will only be available for people who are here or enrolling from this call. And the people who've joined already. Can you give me a sneak peek of how these strategies work in workplaces where we're told RVUs dictate our compensation? And I'm not yet in leadership, but I'm heading in that direction. Antoinette, you are going to love this. Okay. So it is, I would say it's the same process with all of them, and you've given us already possibilities that we can look forward to. So for example, I would say that consider this. Yes, the RVUs dictate your RVUs are a driver of compensation, and I want you to consider it's more complicated than that. You Because when our brain says our views dictate, that there comes it's starting to close down again. When you consider at your same job, there are people whose salaries are not are creatively contributed. And how I know is because we've helped everyone from new faculty to chairs, and there is so much you can't possibly know about. Even if you're at a state institution where everything's on the internet, it's not all on the internet. Like I showed you, Monica, they found all these pots of money that added up to millions of dollars. How? How did that happen? Is because institutions are very creative at how they funnel money. So I want to start by saying, just consider RVUs are not the only dictation. That might be for the standard employee, but exceptional employees who know how to coach their chair can break that mold. And you've already started to alluding it. I'm heading towards leadership. Let's head there faster. One of the examples I gave was she had been in the job 6 months and 3 leadership spots opened up, and each one of them had attached to them tens, hundreds of thousands, lots of money. And each one of them had academic off-service time. It was built into them. She didn't have to create it. She just walked into it. All of her colleagues said, don't ask. You've only been here 6 months. Who are you to? You need to wait your time. You can't do it. But she was in my coaching program. And in the first 6 months, we helped her, what I call create a leadership window. We helped her hit her RVU targets, contribute at the faculty meetings, lead the group, help the clinic. She was already doing all this work. So when the positions opened, her boss just was able to say yes to the work she was already doing. So 6 months into the job, as the most junior person, she stepped into 3 senior leadership positions that came with more money and more off-service time. She was able to get 30% off service time. That's 15 weeks a year. That's 1 to 2 weeks off every month with a raise, because she didn't say, I need to hold myself back. I need to do my time. She said, I'm interested in leadership and I want I want that kind of chair package. I want that money and I want the time. So based on the 2 sentences you gave me, that's exactly how I would do it. Okay, what else? Yes, yes, it's the same process. Any other questions? Yeah. All right. I think I've given you, okay. So you guys know the link. It's christinearnoldcoaching.com/next-level-freedom. I am caught up on the questions. I'm caught up on the chat. But anything else in there? Instagram, if you have a question, let us know. Oh. We have a lot of flowers in the garden. Kind of activates my allergies. All right, so I'm going to go ahead. Since we're all caught up, I'm just going to wrap up. Every year, your job should get better. Every year, you should be working fewer hours, making more money, and being home more. That's what we do Next Level Freedom by coaching your boss. So Next Level Freedom, we open once a year. This is the last chance you can join for 2026. Next chance to open is summer 2027. We're the only community helping women physicians ethically cutting back to part-time hours and keeping your full-time pay. We are closing the $21 million wage gap using advanced coaching skills you've never learned before. So you can either put your camera on the QR code and this will take you over to the payment page. You can enjoy and be in this today. Get started. You can also go to ChristinaArnoldCoaching.com/next-level-freedom. And I think we have sent emails. So the join link is also in your emails. Yeah, here it is, ChristinaArnoldCoaching.com/next-level-freedom. As soon as you join, you're enrolled, you're with us for life. We'll support you forever. We can go to work getting you part-time hours, a full-time doctor pay. It's immediate access. And the next time to join is summer 2027. Don't waste $1 million waiting. We have people join us all the time who are fellows who you might think would just say, "Look, I'll join next year when I'm attending." And we get them a $150,000 raise as a fellow. Don't wait on that money. Don't wait on part-time hours. Join the movement. Yes, we are correcting the $21 million wage gap I showed you earlier through part-time hours at full doctor pay. That's how you catch up. You will not catch this 21 million wage gap with urgent care shifts. So we've helped women from any specialty, any zip code, any experience level, all of these specialties. These are not all of them. I just put the most common ones here. If you don't see yourself in any of these slides, tell me. And I will probably have someone I just forgot to put on here who we've helped, all the academic centers. A lot of people always join, but could you help me at Harvard? Could you help me at Mayo or Hopkins? It's the same process, I promise you. Whatever academic, private, family practice, physician-owned industry, it is the same process. We have helped all the academic or all the practice settings. Probably half are academics and the rest are some combination of community practice, private practice, solo practitioners, DPC, Kaiser, locums, per diem, physician, research, telemedicine. All the experience levels from trainees to chiefs. Yeah, ChristinaArnoldCoaching.com/next-level-freedom. Join us today. Put your camera on the QR code. Get inside so you can get our special live bonus. So our curriculum is how you get there. Module 1 is early promotion off-cycle raises. We teach you from before you start your job, how to position yourself for an early promotion, off-cycle raises, better schedule, top pay now. Do not believe you have to wait for a decade. You'll learn the interview edge, the strategic annual review system, promotion coalition, the 5-year career leap strategy. And this applies even if you've already been in your job for 5 to 10 years, all of that can be updated for you. You can be like, "Oh, I never did this one thing. I can do that now." They all become levers for you to get your part-time hours, your full-time schedule. Rayhan was such an amazing example. She was told, just accept the first job. You know, you're IMG, you have no experience, you're a fellow, you're a breadwinner. She was feeling so much pressure just to accept the first job that came around. We don't believe in that. We don't believe in IMG discounts. We don't believe in fellow discounts. We don't believe in a discount just because you're a woman. So what we did is we helped her create 10 dream job offers, including in her dream location of California. She turned interviews down. She turned down 9 jobs, and her dream job she accepted was well over $100,000 more than recruiters cited. She was able to buy a big city. I believe she's the breadwinner. Her husband could stay home with the child. I believe that's her history. And she said, "This is what I was dreaming about when I came to the United States. I'm so happy. I'm so glad that I made this decision to join because it's definitely nothing compared to what I am right now. It's nothing, nothing, nothing." You can hear her story on the podcast, Happy in Medicine. $100,000 times 30 years is $3 million. She'll get another raise, at least $100,000 in 5 years. That's $2.5 million. Total at retirement, just straight up money that's coming, $5.5 million. And if she invested a tiny part of it, not everything, just a tiny part, we're not even looking at her salary, future bonuses, her husband's job, that's $18.6 million. Her ROI on coaching was 7,456. A 10-minute conversation with her chair, $18.6 million. That's how fast you can correct this wage gap. Do not talk to headhunters or recruiters. They will demand from you a 100K discount because they're incentivized. They're not evil people. They're doing their job, but They are getting paid to keep you underpaid. Like, they make more money when your salary is low. So skip them, just make $18 million instead, like Rayhan did. And you can join us at ChristinaArnoldCoaching.com/next hyphen level hyphen freedom at this QR code and join us today. And we'll get working on getting you part-time hours at your full-time doctor job, wherever you are in the world. That's module 1. So we have 5 modules, and the modules are all geared towards this promise of part-time hours at full-time doctor salary. Second is leaving work at 4 p.m. every day. So this is the idea of being able to eat lunch at lunchtime, being home before dinner, not having all this unpaid charting stealing your evenings, how to get approval without touching your income. We have a whole system. It's called work-life balance scheduling system, how to get you part-time hours at your full-time pay, the approval approach, how to purge your schedule of all this unpaid labor that just kind of hangs on and grows every year. Not when you're in our program, we eliminate it. Ramona took this one of these modules. She left 4 p.m. the same day she joined. Years later, she's still leaving at 4. Module 3 is how to eliminate workplace conflict forever. Oh my gosh, this takes a lot of time. It's so painful to be in conflict at work all the time. And it makes a hard job even worse. I remember feeling like, why is the people part of my job the hardest part of my job? Like the actual functioning of my clinical work, easy. I can do that in my sleep. But all the other stuff, this emails that are CC'd to everybody, all the conversations, the pressure, the infighting, that is super painful. So we show you how to end the tension at work. No more conflict at work. No more difficult colleagues. How you can lead high stakes conversations, how to have 100% effective boundaries, what to do when the emotions are running high, and to how to get the emotions out of the job. We teach a conflict-free leadership framework. No conflict, no drama. You know what that means? That means you work part-time hours. If you just have to go to work and do your day job, right, without managing all everyone's emotions, it's so much easier. Teach you 100% effective boundaries, no more difficult conversations. Michelle's promotion and raise was blocked, and her schedule was blocked because her chair said, you can't get along with anyone. We can't promote you. We can't give you a nice schedule. You need to figure out how to get along with people. What the heck does that mean? Her chair had a very specific idea, but couldn't communicate that to Michelle. And she was losing hundreds of thousands of dollars in the meantime. So she joined the program, and in 90 days, we got her promoted, 20% off service, and a raise. She just needed to know these trauma-informed coaching skills. She needed to know how to read the room and figure out when people were getting upset and how to position her ask with the irresistible ask process, for example. She needed to know how to communicate in a way where she could get what she wanted. And let me tell you, when you're at work, top pay, part-time hours, all of a sudden the conflict starts going away, right? Because you're like, I don't really care about this nonsense. I'm going home. It helps to be paid top dollar and working part-time hours. It really does solve all these problems. Module 4 is a 6-figure raise process. You will never hear it anywhere else. It's developed exclusively for women physicians. Most physicians aren't taught how to negotiate, and what we're taught is by white male bro culture, fake caveman aggressive energy. Have more confidence, have the most confidence in the room. It doesn't work for us. And actually, research science shows this. It doesn't work for us because it was not made for us. We teach a process that's based on relationship building and collaboration, which women are exceptional at. And science has shown when you take people who are relationship based, who are making decisions based on collaboration, you will go farther than anyone else. You turn hospital leadership into allies who fight for you, not enemies who are targeting you. You become prioritized, protected. You make sure you're never fired. You become unfireable. So we have a process of how never to get fired. We have a process about the irresistible ask, what to do when your boss is constantly saying no and stonewalling you, even in this economy, even if you're understaffed, even if people are leaving your center in droves. We teach the pro athlete negotiation method. And 5, this is my favorite because this is what actually determines all the rest. But so you know how to have trauma-informed physician coaching skills. It is the skill that keeps you from eliminates your conflict, your mistakes, gets you promoted. If you don't have these skills, you're generally not prioritized. You're generally passed over into the back of the line. I mean, that was my experience. I could do all the RVUs in the world, but if I couldn't communicate to leadership in the only way they heard, I was not seen. I was not taken care of. I was not prioritized. I was just dumped on in the schedule and paid poorly until I learned how to use these skills, which they don't teach in medicine anywhere. You start having these conversations at a higher level. You turn the boss you're afraid of into one who will fight for you. Your annual review goes from the saying of, oh my gosh, I can't sleep because I know I'm gonna leave and there I'm gonna have more work to do, into you go to your annual review and your chair is just showing you what she's gonna lay out for you this year. Here's how we're pulling you off this service. Here's why we're giving you this title. Here's a stipend we found for you. Seriously, it is this skill, trauma-informed physician coaching skills. So we teach you the workplace x-ray, the 60 seconds room read, the repair protocol. So you never have to damage relationships to get what you want. These are just some examples. Serena took 12 months off, paid sabbatical. Kelly took summer and December off, paid. Diana's boss told her she'd never be promoted. She created a $138,000 raise and bonuses and was promoted. If you're stonewalled, it's just because you don't have these skills. You don't have to be stonewalled. We have live weekly group coaching for life. Our next call is Thursday, so join us today. You'll be on that call, and we support you for every stage of life. Our calls are generally, but it does move around. August and September, we're moving calls around a bit. Thursdays, 3 p.m. Pacific time, 6 p.m. Eastern time. We have replays, but I would say is you don't need to make all the live calls. The curriculum is the process, and you don't even need to see all the curriculum. It's possible you're like Ramona, 1 or 2 modules away from part-time hours, full-time salary, your 100K raise. You don't need all of it. You just need a few modules. That's it. So you should not be at every call. The part of your brain who's like, I'm used to being a good student, type A, I need to be at all the calls or I can't join. I mean, look what that gives you. Then you don't join, then you don't get the 100K raise, and you're not at part-time hours, and $1 million a year goes out the window. Like, what? Join for the curriculum. Come to the calls when you can. You don't need to be at all the calls. You get to pick and choose. You can get to part-time hours without the calls. I love the calls. They're a lot of fun. I love seeing you all succeed. It is so much fun to help you all make a lot of money and be home with your families. Like there really is no better work. But your goal when you join is not to spend all your time with me. Your goal is to spend all your time with your family. Lifetime access means you get to come and go as you please. You don't need the live calls and they're there. Also consider it may not take, most of our clients will come in for 10 minutes of coaching and get going. What if it only takes you 10 minutes, a little small adjustment to get part-time hours at your 100K raise? Okay, so in the chat, ChristinaArnoldCoaching.com/next-level-freedom. That's where you can join us. And everyone who joins while the Zoom room is open is going to get a special bonus. That bonus will go away when I close the Zoom room. When you join, you get a woman physician community. If you've seen the podcast Happy in Medicine, we've been celebrating our clients, and all of them universally say being in a room with just other women physicians is life-changing by itself. And having that for life for a one-time payment of $2,500, like you just don't find that anywhere else, which means we get to be there for you to help solve your current problems, your future problems. You never have to do it alone. It's for life. We support you in everything. We are specialists on part-time hours, full-time doctor salary, 100K raises. That is our specialty. But as you'll see when you join, we help everyone on all the things, parenting, money, marriage. You have one place. You save yourself so much time and money, not having to hire 5 different coaches. You have one place to go where all your needs can be met. A coach who knows your story every time, right? So you don't have to say, oh, well, let me tell you my story. No, I know your story. I've seen you. I've been coaching you for 6 years. It's amazing. You get so much more where you don't have to explain yourself. We have a private podcast. So if you're a person who loves to listen to modules on the go at 2.0x while you're driving across town, this is for you. And I just pulled some of the names of some recent titles. These I titled them based on what we coached on. So if you can imagine, if any of these titles are interesting for you, this is just a recent smattering. I can't stop yelling at my kids. I got a bad evaluation at work. My son won't stop playing video games. I don't know how to start a job search. I think it might be time for me to leave. I can't seem to stop working. I'm always staying later than I want and bringing work home. That is what it's like to be in a community of physician women, is we're dealing with the problems on the ground that you're actually having. We have a content vault, which has all like the basic cornerstone topics like time management, family, work-life balance. I would say, I just want to say before I tell you about the content vault is that you never have to look at this, right? So if you're like, oh my gosh, that's a lot of modules, you never have to look at it. The 5 module curriculum, that's what gets you the result. The content vault is, we like to take care of all of our learners, and we have a fair amount of learners who like modules. They like to have start their day or have some part of their day with someone who's positive and supportive. They don't have that in their current center. So I've had people tell me, I listen to your modules at lunch. So I'm not constantly thinking about the RVUs and the clinic and being behind. I have like a little reprieve at work. So they're available if you love them. I'll tell you the one that everyone loves, that people rave about, is this bottom one, archived, Your Path and Focus podcast. It was my initial podcast as I was going through work crises. The background was my chair tried to fire me, and I used all of these skills to walk out of the meeting with part-time hours, no call, making the most money I've ever made on service 1 to 2 weeks a month. Best relationship with her. Like, she tried to flip my world around, and I flipped her world around in the best way. She became my biggest advocate. This is why I say every woman needs to know how to coach your boss, because if you don't at any time, you could be fired. It could happen. But if you know how to coach your boss, you can leave these conversations resetting your career to make more money and work fewer hours. But you can't do it if you don't know how to coach your boss. So that's a skill we teach in Next Level Freedom. New this round, a live in-person event. I'm from the Bay Area. Hello, it's gorgeous here. We just moved here. So, but that's where we have the event is going to be here. Exclusive content, hours of coaching, hours of girlfriend time, 12-month transformation in one day. Clients who have come to this have said it was the best day of their life. That they left with so much confidence. They felt so connected. They were really lonely for friendship, and they left with a packet of girlfriends, best friends for life. New this round, we have a VIP reward club. It's more support. So once you hit the program promise, your part-time hours, your full-time doctor job, you get more support. We keep the curriculum pretty streamlined. We don't want you getting lost or overwhelmed in there. So you have these 5 modules. That's going to get you to part-time hours, full-time salary. And if you want more content, then get into the VIP rewards club. Tell us that you've hit the program promise and you have more access to more support. I'll say the course we have in there is on advanced manifestation, and clients love it. They have created, well, this is an example of Jessica landed her dream job. She invented a job. And this is what we do in your program. I mentioned it here on the webinar, like, what is the thing you would love to have? Like, what is think wildly successful? What is that? And then let's go create it through coaching your chair. She used advanced manifestation as one of her tools. She created a 4-day work week, all of July off, 75% work from home, top salary at a great institution that has really kind people. Amazing. But we've had clients create love matches, good marriage, a good divorce, years of infertility, had babies. Like, it creates miracles. We have guest expert coaching experiences, all geared towards helping you become wealthy while cutting back your hours. So stop charting, wealth with real estate, fixing your sleep, weight loss for physicians, a variety of other tools. The best physician leaders or the best people in the space, I brought them in to teach you their best content. So you don't have to go out and hire and find people. They're brought to you for free, and they're in the program as soon as you join. And you can join at ChristinaArnoldCoaching.com/next-level-freedom. Oh, look at that. There it is. ChristinaArnoldCoaching.com/next-level-freedom. We are open. Someone wanted to be on my video with me. Nope, you cannot. This is a one-woman show, and definitely not letting David come on here. So denied. Okay, but if you have questions, David, you can ask them. Oh, this is for women physicians only. So I'm not. Just want to label that out, put that out there. All right. So yes, Join us. What are you waiting for? Join us. Okay, so what is this? For those of you who are here live, I'm going to do a special bonus exclusive just for those of you who are enrolled live. So this will not be available an hour from now. It will not be available tomorrow. It will not be available other times. And if you've already joined, like we had Antoinette and some other people join, we're going to just put this in your package as a surprise love gift because I love surprising my clients with more than what they think. But the number one question I get from people is, will this work for me? Because, but. I'm in academics or I'm in private or my boss did this and that. And I know when it's you, it feels like this can't possibly work for me. What I want you to think of is you just have never tried this before. Nobody teaches coaching your boss. I invented that. So nobody teaches it. You've never tried it. That's why you haven't seen the results. What I was trying to brainstorm is how can I help you say yes to this program so we can get you these results, right? Because if you don't learn the skill, you're definitely not getting this result. But if you join us, you learn the skill and you're creative, you don't give up, you're definitely getting the skill. So I'm creating this. We've never offered this before, a quarterly strategy drop. I'll say if you want to use them sooner, you can. But the idea is you're going to get 4 drop sessions. You're not going to have to wonder, will this work for me? How do I apply this? Can I make the script for me? 4 times, I'm thinking a year, but you could use them back at whatever interval, as long as they're done within this year. You write me, you tell me what's happening. Your boss, your ask, what's at stake, what do you know? You're going to give me the fleshed out data, and I'm going to give you something back that's worth millions of dollars. I'm going to customize for you the exact mindset, the exact strategy, word for word scripts, what to say, when, to whom. This is actually what I do for my clients, but it's usually in a group format. This is going to be private. It's going to be built around you, you and me. You send it to me, I send it to you. You don't have to come to a group call. You don't have to wait and hope I have time to see you. It's going to be in private. It expires when this Zoom room closes. I'm only offering it to you all and the people who already joined. I'm going to give it to them too, to be fair to them. This is valued at $1,000. This, I'm telling you, we have like 10-minute conversations, $18 million. This is $1 million bonus. It is. It will create so much money and ease for you. We can customize it to your job, your hospital, your family. So when your brain's like, but it won't work for me, I want you to be like, oh, yes, it will. We have a strategy drop with mindset and skills. We're making it work for you. We haven't had clients fail. If you're creative and you don't give up and you're working a skill you've never used, you get there. But the number one thing I see is people give up on themselves before they even join. They're like, I'm not even going to join because I can't think this can't possibly work for me. And so what happens is your life just keeps repeating and you keep working more hours for less money. I'm saying join us so we can have the reverse happen for you. Every year you should be making more money, working fewer hours. Period. In this economy, the next economy, this boss, the next boss, droves of academics leaving. P.S. Droves of academics, people are leaving academics every dang year. Like that is not new. Getting paid is. That's what we're going to do in the program. So join us, ChristinaArnoldCoaching.com/next-level-freedom. It's in the chat. You can put your camera on this little dinosaur icon and it'll take you to the page and you can join. And everyone who joins while the Zoom is open is getting this bonus. What other questions do you have for me? What else? What else? The other bonuses that we have, this one is first come, first serve. So when my schedule is booked, we'll just stop issuing these. So you don't want to wait until next Thursday. Doors close next Thursday, August 6th, midnight Eastern time. We open once a year. So next chance to join is next summer, 2027. Don't wait on a 100K raise from them. You saw the numbers. When you wait a year, you lose $1 million. Join us. And one of the ways we get you there is through this one-on-one private get to out a 4 p.m. exit call. On this call, we work together on what is going on at your job. Let's do a deep dive in it and let's figure out how leaving at 4 p.m. can be your norm. We customize the scripts, the strategy, the mindset, who to talk to when, at what time, so that you can start leaving at 4 p.m. You can start your way getting to part-time hours. You'll walk away knowing exactly what to do. No wondering, no having to look at the curriculum. We'll just figure it out for you on the call. And for those of you who are already leaving at 4, what if we left at 3? I I hear this a lot too, but I'm already part-time. Okay, that's not the goal. The goal is not to get to part-time. The goal is for every year of your career, work fewer hours and get paid more money. That's the goal. So we can do part-time even better. And also, if you're at part-time and you want to use the call to design your 100K raise, your path to collect your $21 million, let's do that. We can do that. We could probably talk about both. And then your last bonus. Oh, so this private one-on-one calendar, the rate limiting step is my schedule. As that book's out, this will end. So we're offering it right now. We likely won't be able to offer to the very end. If you want this one-on-one private time with me to talk at and develop your customized strategy, you want to join now. This used to be $1,000 a session. I don't offer private one-on-ones anymore. So this is the only way to get it. You also get 3 bonus instant access courses. What we looked at is what is keeping most of our physicians overworking at work and how can we address it with a course they can access right away. So we have the cure to procrastination and perfectionism, break the cycle that's keeping you working late into the nights and the weekends. The done formula is our process to getting really good work done fast so you can be at the soccer games without your phone blowing up. Impossible Goal Protocol is how to create really impossible things. Like right now, you probably think part-time hours, full-time pay, and 100K raise is impossible. It's not. I created it for myself. I've helped 1,000 women physicians towards that. These courses are $1,000 valued. Your bonus is altogether $3,000 valued, and the price of the program is $2,500. So it is a good time to come in. What's included are 5-module curriculum, live coaching for life, 15 plus guest expert experiences. We have in the content vault, book club, content vault, the private podcast, women physician community, 360 support. New this round is a new curriculum. Clients are loving it, seeing more results than ever before. The 4 p.m. VIP Rewards Club, you get more support when you have the program promise, a live in-person event. Oops, the 72-hour bonus is over, but replace that with everyone on this call who joins live while the Zoom is open is going to get this strategy drop, this customized strategy just for you and your center. So wherever you are in the world, we can move towards your part-time hours, full-time doctor pay, and 100K raise. 4 p.m. exit plan private one-on-one call for those of you who get it. It's first come, first serve. So at some point that will go away. It will definitely go away before doors close on Thursday. 3 bonus courses. The investment is a one-time payment of $2,500, 3 monthly payments of $875. Doors close Thursday, August 6th at midnight. And you can join us by going to christinaarnoldcoaching.com/next-level-freedom. What the screen says is /3DT, 3-day training. It's 3 characters, 3DT. That goes to the same place. Yeah, so join us, christinaarnoldcoaching.com/next-level-freedom. The next time to join is next year, 2027. I would hate for you to delay your 100K raise. I would hate for you to work this hard for this little money for another year. That could amount to $1 million. Don't do it. Join us. We want to make you rich. We're very, very good at it. What can you expect in the first 30 days? Our first goal for you is to stop working nights and weekends, to get you back to leaving at 4 p.m. And we'll do this with, if you join now, you get that exit plan, you get this strategy drop, you have the curriculum and group call, totally optional for the group calls, but they're there. Make your ROI in 10 minutes of one call. You saw the ROIs here. They are in the thousands. ROI, I think our highest one was 7,000x. It is insane what our clients are creating and the amount of time it takes them to get there, like 10 minutes. Why that is because women physicians are exceptional at relationships. So you already have the required material for this kind of coaching your chair, this high level conversation. You've done the hard work of building these relationships. We're just modifying how you talk to leaders to deliver the money and the schedule. It doesn't take long because you've actually done all the hard work. But until you know how to coach your chair, it's very easy for your requests to be not heard, for your request to get a no, we can't do that, our hands are tied, we never been ever, no one makes that kind of money, no one does that here. It's very easy to get shut down unless you speak the only language your leaders speak, just coaching your chair, and the only place you'll learn it in the entire world is our program. So join us. Kelly joined. She lifts work at 4 p.m. every day the first day. Years later, she's still leaving at 4. Jennifer went to part-time hours of full-time pay in 2 weeks. Renee took the summer off to travel the world. Marie got a 100K raise in 3 minutes of coaching. It does not take long. It is possible for you too. Do not believe people who tell you this economy and academics, but this boss never. It's a no when you don't know how to coach your boss, 100%. And we help prepare you for all economies. When you're making a lot of money, you have that $21 million, who cares what the economy is doing? Carrie joined on Sunday. She watched the Irresistible Ask process Monday, and on Tuesday, she met with her chair and had a 60K raise. This matters. 60K after 20 years. I don't think that's correct because I took the taxes out, but whatever. We'll say it's over $1 million. She invests a part of it, it becomes almost $3 million. Her ROI on coaching is over 1,000x. And we're not looking at her base salary or bonuses or raises or her husband's salary. That 10-minute conversation was worth $2.7 million. Don't wait on it. The only way you get that number is by having the money and years that you can, and the years you're making the money. So that is something you don't want to wait on. We have a process to get your investment paid. When you're on the sales page, there is a brochure that's made to download and you can mail off to your business manager and have this funded by Monday. It's a process. It's written in the language. It is coaching your chair. It is beautiful. It's got ROIs and it's got PubMed IDs and studies and references, all the things chairs need to say yes to something. It shows them what a good investment this is. Many of our clients, our goal for all of our clients is none of you should have to pay to come in. Brochure is one way. Also, our goal, our floor, our standard approach is a 6-figure raise. 6 figures times 30 years, like we can say this together, right? $21 million. At that level, the investment of next level freedom is a rounding error. It's not even an investment. Do not pay for coaching. That's our goal. Lifetime access means you never have to rush, see it all, or overwork. We are there for you forever. We've been around 6 years. We're the only physician community that's lifetime. You cannot find this anywhere else. We're the only physician community that teaches you how to coach your boss, come back to part-time hours, keep your full salary, and get a 100K raise. And we're so good at it. We want you to be rich. We want you to be home. We want you to retire your children. We want you not have to work in medicine until the day you die. We want you to be able to enjoy this family. You worked really hard to create it. Okay, if you have questions, you can book a free sales call with me. We don't have 10 spots left. We have far fewer spots left, but there are a few spots left. You can go to this QR code. It'll take you to the scheduling page. On any of the emails that my assistant put up, you can just reply to them and say, hey, can I get a free sales call? And we can address any of your questions. So I'll say, if you have any other questions, put it in the chat. If not, remember to join us at ChristinaArnoldCoaching.com/next-level-freedom. Those who enroll now are going to get a really special bonus. Your strategy drops, going to make you millions of dollars. Here's what's included: the 5-module curriculum, weekly live coaching, 15+ expert sessions, book club, content vault, private podcast, community, 360 support. We have new features this round. We're always making Next Level Freedom even better. Always, always, always. This is the absolute best time to join. We just made the new curriculum, VIP Rewards Club, live in-person event. And when you're on this call and joining, you're going to get that strategy drop. As we have spaces, 4 p.m. exit plan private one-on-one calls, first come, first serve. So don't wait on that. 3 bonus courses. So one-time investment of $2,500, 3 monthly payments of $875. Our doors close August 6th, Thursday, midnight Eastern Standard Time. Next chance to join will be summer 2027. Don't miss this chance to make a 100K raise this year. Be part-time hours this year. Don't leave $21 million on the table, y'all. Don't do it. It's ChristinaArnoldCoaching.com/next-level-freedom. Looks like everything is, I'll leave that here. I caught up with everything in the chat, everything in the Q&A. If there's anything else, let me know. I'll give you a minute. Ask anything else. I don't see anything else. So it was so good to see you all. I look forward to seeing all of you in the program. Bye, everybody. Bye, bye, bye.